Or you just go.
Hello, you guys. Clap box.
You got no
Clap.
the clapper.
The clapper. We don't have a clapper. This is a professional.
I have my Universal Studios antique clapper.
Brilliant. All right, boys and girls.
Hello,
We've
friendos.
decided that on this spectacular Tuesday evening to night to midnight to early morning to late morning, we're gonna watch all 8 Saw movies. So what we're basically decided we're gonna do is we're going to watch each of these Master Pie. And then after each movie, we're going to pause. We're gonna start the camera, and we're gonna talk about the genius we just witnessed. All right, and beginning at number 1, beginning at 5:42 p.m. on January 9th,
And I unplugged the phone.
we're going to watch Saw. All right, 1 down. We finished it. This guy Jeff, our friend Jeff, arrived halfway through. He loved it. Thought it was fantastic. What'd you think, Jeff? High quality, 10 out of 10 movie. Was a fan. All right. So the things I will say real fast are just that I forget how many truly effective scenes there are in the original. I think that the critics didn't give the original fair trial, especially when compared to the ones we're gonna watch now. The original Saw is actually a pretty fantastic movie.
I would say
Comparatively, it's fantastic. On its own, I would say it's a solid horror movie.
it is an extremely solid thriller. I
think-
wouldn't even call it a horror movie.
That's true. So fair. I don't know. I do think it does have that building tension that you look for, which is really what defines a horror movie. Is it has this building tension throughout that is kind of it tries to just build over each scene, so each scene builds on the other. And I think it is effective in that light.
Yeah, I genuinely think that the first Saw movie is a extremely solid horror movie on the verge of greatness. It's a modern classic.
Yeah.
And the twists still hold up. And once you get to the last act,
okay,
the last act is fantastic. Yeah.
Jeff, anything to add?
He only saw it like last 30 minutes.
He saw the twist and basically. Jeff's unimpressed. Jeff's not a movie guy, really.
Honestly, I don't.
All right.
I'm just here for the pizza, honestly. I'm not...
All right, we're
gonna watch Saw 2 now.
We're starting Saw 2. It's still January 9th, 2018. It's 7:25 p.m.
This is gonna be done by like
Saw
5:30 in the morning.
Au revoir.
Cut my fucking fingers off.
Woo! 2 down. Whoa. That one's a doozy. How we feeling, boys, at the end of Saw number dos? It's Jeff.
I've never seen a single Saw movie.
Now you've seen 2.
I guessed
1.5.
I guessed 2 out of the 3 twists.
Yeah, no, literally the first scene, he's like, oh yeah, it's recorded footage, and
the two of us
the
were
boy's
like-
in the safe, and we're like, what? What?
It's just
he just
obvious.
looked at Jacob, just looked at me and was like, no,
Honestly.
yeah, that movie, its twists were good.
Bitch.
Its twists were pretty good, I will say, but other than that, it's just a very sad.
It's a Darren Lynn Bousman movie.
Darren Lynn Bousman. I mean, it's pretty clear that it wasn't originally meant to be a Saw movie, obviously. It was
Yeah.
Desperate, is that what it was originally supposed to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was meant to be just basically a cheap Saw ripoff, even though Saw's not that expensive to begin with. But in the end, it was like, I think it was critiqued for being too close. The script was critiqued for being too close to a Saw film, so they reworked it as a Saw movie.
Yeah.
If I have my story straight. And I mean, it shows that this was not originally designed to be a Saw movie. Its structure is not the same as the other Saw movies. I think
Instead of making
this is
the fucking
weirdly off.
Roman
This is
numerals
off.
and 3 T's.
It's like
Yeah.
so much
We
more
move
space.
slightly.
Alright, I'm gonna go like this just to make it more. There we go.
Well, you can always adjust it for the next film.
That's true, yeah. Alright, so speaking of the next film, alright, it is now 8:57 p.m.
And we're going
on
to start Saw 3.
January 9th, 2018. Shut up. We're about to start Saw numero trace, unrated at 18.
8:58.
Yeah, it's
Let's
gonna
go.
be 8:58
Fuck
by the
you!
time.
Okay. Woo! Okie dokie dokie dokie! Yeah, and that was number 3. Wow, this feels like it's getting long.
3 felt like an
3.
eternity.
We still have 5 more of these
Like
fucking
the first
things
two are
to
fucking.
watch.
Like the second one was like relatively fun. Like it was fun to make fun of.
Okay, so the things I have.
The third one was shitty.
The things I have with Saw 3 is that, like, it's getting to the point where it's pretty clear that this series should end. And
Yes.
it just doesn't want to. And it feels like this would have been a good wrapping up spot, but you can tell that they're not trying to wrap
finality
it up.
to it.
But you can also tell that they're not trying to wrap it up because they have all these, like, Hoffman showing up and they're not ending
In this
Detective, not Mark
absolutely
Wahlberg's story.
idiotic flashbacks or whatever to the worst actress in the entire series.
Why do they have to keep padding the runtime? They pad the runtime so much.
They have so many flashbacks to scenes in like Saw 1 to explain, oh, this is how the key went down the drain. This is how Tobin Bell poisoned, not poisoned, like slowed his heart rate so then you could go on the floor. It's like, we don't need this.
The thing is, it feels a lot like there were a lot of scenes where, you know those scenes in like Batman v Superman, where they're like, the city is empty. No one is in the city right now as they're fighting. It's like so clear that they're just trying to listen to criticism from the previous ones and then explain away all the issues they had. So they're like showing, oh, well, the reason that there's no way for Adam to get the key in the original is because he's 18. Don't worry. Is because of it was Amanda who did it, and she's actually evil and whatever. There's very little redeemable about this movie. Very little.
And there's
it's
there's
not very good.
Literally, this entire movie was just, oh, this is how this happened. This is how
Yeah,
this
it was
happened.
just explaining the
literally,
first two
there was just
movies.
no story. The only real story
his-
was him fucking dying.
and Jigsaw's morality. Yeah, you're grieving too hard. Time to go through a trap, my friend. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
The last thing, why didn't Jeff kill Jigsaw with a jigsaw? I mean,
But that Jigsaw's just like a puzzle piece.
yeah, but all he did was slit his throat. He definitely could have used
Aren't
jigsaw.
you meaning Buzzsaw?
No, a jigsaw. There's a
Okay.
a jigsaw puzzle is made with a saw called a jigsaw. It's
Oh,
like a
yeah,
little saw
yeah,
that goes, and you definitely could have.
Oh, yeah. That would have been.
Yeah, that would have been how they do it. Yeah, because Jigsaw writing. All right, so this is probably we'll probably start one more movie before it tomorrow. I think. Yeah, probably before. Yeah, it's 10:50 right now, and we're gonna start Saw Quattro. That's 4 on January
I
9th,
hate you.
2018. Saw 4, 10:51. Whoa!
Fucking hate everything. Kill me.
Bye. Yeah. Hey. What's up, Jeff? Hey.
Jeff slept.
Ugh. Oh, Jeff didn't like this one.
Jeff
This is
slept.
too much. Oh, guys. Just better get all the
Jeff,
likes.
how? What'd you think of Saw 4?
Jeff was asleep. And also Jeff's head's not on a frame.
Okay. Saw 3, I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep. I am so fucking bored. And then we watched Saw 4.
Right now. It's so bad.
It's like an asylum movie. It's
It's really halfway through, Jacob. Yes,
Yes.
it's like an asylum. It's like, to me,
and I can't wait.
to me, Saw 3 and 4 are like the ones that just kind of happened, and no one, like, they were just filler. And Saw 5 is also like that. But
No, Saw 5 is completely filler.
they just happen because they need a Saw movie, and there's no real reason. It's gotten to the point where I would say, what do you think? 5% of this movie is reused footage from the previous movies.
Oh, fucking like 20%.
Like 20%. Oh god, wow.
It is so fucking terrible. It's It's incomprehensible.
It's so
It
bad.
makes no sense. Hi, Jeffels.
Jeff.
It is so funny in so many ways, where they literally paint out everything. Like, the whole thing was he had cancer and all this stuff, and that was his driving force. Now he has like a fucking child. It's
Jesus
so ridiculous that it reinvigorated me, and I am wide awake and pumped to
I'm gonna
finish
shoot
this
myself.
franchise.
I'm gonna do one of those like eye stabby things. It's the oh god, this is gonna be bad. All right,
This has
it's
been
currently
a blast.
12:24 a.m. on January 10th, 2018.
Woo!
And we are starting Saw 5.
The underrated dude.
You're unrated.
We will watch it.
My partners in this expedition have both succumbed to sleep, so I'm going to go into another room to talk about Saw 5. Okay. I really hope this is in focus. Let's give it a chance to focus. Alright. So, yeah. Saw 5 is, I remember it being really bad when I saw it first, like years and years and years and years ago. But, I will say, on a second viewing, it holds up better than I was expecting. I will even say that I think some of the cinematography, cinematographical skills of this movie is actually a lot better than I was expecting, and better than some of the previous Saw films, especially 2 through 4. They had a better color palette, I think a wider range of colors, and it was, Jacob actually pointed out before he fell asleep, that it was more gray, but so the colors more drab, but there was a wider range of them, so that was better. I also liked some of what they did with the main trap that happened in the movie, but overall it was just really stupid and filler and kind of dumb. So now at God, I don't know what exactly it is right now. It's now at black-capped Chicopee Point Gray Horned Owl, we/I on January 10th, 2018 are going to start Saw 6, which is my personal second favorite after the original Saw. Well, okay. We're almost done. Saw 6, which is this one, has always been one of my favorites. I've been a big fan of it. I think it is a solid step up from all of the ones that surround it. The horrific Saw 7 that's absolutely horrible and just laughably bad that comes next, which is what we're going to watch now. And the Saw 5 that came before it that was just kind of blah. And Saw 4, Saw 3, Saw 2. Not since Saw 1 was there such a good Saw movie. And I don't think Jigsaw lived up to the hype either of comparing to it. I think Saw 6, it had some surprisingly timely messages and some really effective moments. I think there's one moment when on like there's a carousel of death sort of thing. Sounds really dumb, but there's a sort of carousel where there's 3 or 6 employees of his that have to ride around on the carousel, and there's basically like a gun that kills them one by one, and he can save 2 of them. And when he saves his second person, there's one other person who's definitely going to die now because he saved the other person. And so I think the moment of realization, the guy's yelling at him, he's like, "You gotta look at me when I'm killing you," and the guy looks at him, acknowledging that he is killing him. And there's a really, I think a really good moment actually, where there's like a dawn of realization dawns on this young man's face, and then he dies. And I think there are some solidly effective moments that really surprised me, some high points of the entire series in a way in this movie. But then again, you got the whole point where it's still a Saw movie, so it's still relatively low quality. It's still got the horrible aspect ratio. It's still got the annoying zoom jump cuts and the cringeworthy acting. But there are some very solid moments in this film, and I think it's one of those solid, better ones. Same cannot be said for what comes next. It is currently... I figured out the exchange rate. I don't even know if this is right, but 3.33 a.m. on January 10th, 2018. And I'm about to start watching Saw the Final Chapter, number 7 out of 8. Wish me luck. Bye. Not gonna lie, it took me till now, all the way to the 7th movie to realize that I could actually turn this around to see that I'm in focus. So hopefully the last ones were in focus. Saw 7, everyone. I'm gonna turn on the last one, Jigsaw, 2017, and it is 5:05 on January 10th, 5:05 a.m. on January 10th, 2018, and I'm starting Jigsaw. Bye.
Look at the edges. I dropped this thing so many times.
Tobes, oh, you're sitting on him.
He just doesn't care.
There we
Hey, buddy boy.
He's like, okay.
Oh, we
You're
did
all
it,
assholes.
boys. We did it.
Barely, not really.
Not really. No, we fell asleep through a number of them.
I actually need to.
We were all asleep.
I need to rethink my life after that.
The cinematography was fine.
Much better.
It was better than
The
lots
soap
of the other
operas.
ones, but it was still pretty like just bland. Looked like student film, sort of like very basic run of the mill. Nothing interesting. There was no time, no real moments where I was like, wow, that's a really cool shot they did. Except for the first shot, because they tease it like it's gonna be a trap, and then they pan out and it's just like the coil of
The spikes.
the spikes that they use, that the police officers use to catch speeding cars.
It's
Some
10:40.
self-awareness, but
Yes, Sam. Are you gonna say the time and date?
no, because we finished the movies. Fuck all of you.
Why did you even say the time of day?
I'm so tired, guys. I don't even know how to be funny.
Because you're not.
You've never been funny.
Hidden.
Jeff. There are people in this house
Yeah.
that are not us. Stop. Jesus
It's
Christ.
fine.
Okay, so we did it. We watched. Well, we
You
were
did.
here. We were present as all 8 Saw movies.
I fell asleep halfway through
Wait.
5.
I fell asleep at like 4 or something.
No, yeah, you were out as soon as 4.
I got
You
bored.
didn't- You just didn't care.
You missed 4. 4 was a blast.
I got bored.
I watched 1 through 5 totally. I dozed off a little bit on 6. I really just fell asleep on 7 for like the middle of it, and then Jigsaw, because I like Jigsaw. I hadn't seen it in a while. I was like, well, I'm gonna like try and stay up for that, and then I got through like the first 5.
I woke up a little bit for Jigsaw and I fell right back asleep.
So that's it. That's our Saw marathon. I already filmed an outro for this with Jacob and Jeff, but they were really they kept cutting me off through it. So we're going to be shooting this one, in which I'm just gonna say, if you like this video, make sure to give it a great thumbs up. Always helpful. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Just leave a comment below. That's how I get sleep at night, is your comment. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle for both is WitWikiBrooks, and you can follow me on Snapchat. My username is Stuff12346, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.